Welcome back to the channel, everyone. BakuBrad96 here with my updated Mono Pyrus Bakugan Pro deck build. That's right, this week I will be reviewing all of my upgraded or redone mono factioned decks, and then next week I hope to be going into dual or even triple factioned builds. But I thought it would be really good to get back into the Bakugan Pro game and show you all of my designs and all of my teams for Bakugan Evolutions. Because as you all know, Bakugan Legends has started to release, and I do want to work on those decks as soon as possible. So here is the Evolutions. Obviously starting off with Mono Pyrus. I felt like this deck was upgraded the most. Probably because I just recently bought the Battle Planet R-List starter deck, and a lot of those cards actually went into this one. But enough of that, time to go ahead and get right into it. Don't want to bore everyone with too much talking. So for the team, I did decide to run Neo Pegatrix. It has a regular shield and a green fist core B power of 500 with 2 damage. On a regular fist, you get to add a Baku-core. And then on a regular shield, you do get a plus 100 B power boost. Now this is really good for the deck. This Bakugan pairs nicely with Pyrus Sludgeum. And as I go through the team and the Nanogun, I hope everyone understands why I made the choices that I did. But I definitely like synergy, and Nanogun combos do work very well. And I will get into those a little later, probably at the end of the deck profile. Next up, I am using Trox, so it has a blue shield and a regular shield B power of 900 with 3 damage. Just a really solid, strong Bakugan that can get up pretty decently with this build as far as B power goes, so definitely using him. And then last, I am using Pyrus Warrior Whale, 2 red fists, B power of 200 with 6 damage, so kind of the heavy hitter on the team for damage. And then on a red fist, you do get to steal an opposing active Bakugan's Baku-core, so very nice. 200 B power is low, but when you think about it, you are taking the opponent's Baku-core, so hopefully that does matter. Along with the deck profile, it does have a few defensive cards, so I'm hoping Warrior Whale is strong enough to hang in there. For the Nanogun, I am using Nano Sledge. On a red fist, plus 100 B power, and then on double red fist, you get to add a Baku-core. So very nice synergy with Warrior Whale. I am using Shadow, plus 100 B power, and then if your Bakugan are holding a regular fist, red fist, or regular shield, and a regular shield, plus 1700 B power. So that is a very good late game or potentially third turn B power boost that really good. And the last Nanogun, of course, is Pyrus Sludgeum. So on a regular fist and regular shield, you get to add a Baku-core, and then on 2 regular fist and a regular shield, you get to add plus 1400 B power as well as a Baku-core. Very strong Nanogun, especially for Pyrus. I don't have that many Nanogun for Pyrus that are really good. Most of them just add B power, but Sludgeum, definitely the exception to that. Now going back to Pegatrix, obviously you can already all tell the combo here. So Pegatrix lands on a regular fist as a regular shield, then you can activate Sludgeum for another core, which, I mean, you could go ahead and then add a red fist, then you could use Shadow for the plus 1700 B power, gets up crazy high all in, one turn potentially, so that is the main winning strategy of the deck, is kind of just pump up Neo Pegatrix on that third turn so you can guarantee a team attack. But the Baku-core I am using blue shield plus 650 B power, a regular fist plus 100 B power, and then Aquas and Pyrus get plus 3 damage. 2 regular shield, Aquas and Pyrus get plus 400 B power. And then 2 red fist core plus 250 B power and plus 3 damage. That does it for the core lineup. Now for the figures themselves, of course, it is going to be Core Warrior Whale, Baku-core trucks. And then finally, of course, the Pyrus Neopegatrix. So that is it for the team. Now going on into the main deck. Starting things off very spicy, I am using 3 copies of Quickfire, 0 energy, and you get to make a Pyrus Bakugan attack for 1 damage, and you may reroll your Bakugan. So the theme of this deck is rerolling your Bakugan and getting free Pyrus attacks with cards that have like those type of effects. So already 3 of very powerful reroll and free damage. Figured that was an auto include for the deck. Then I am using 2 power ritual, 1 energy to add a energy for each Baku-core that your Bakugan hold. Kind of a pseudo ramp card. Honestly, it's kind of a dead draw later on in the game if you don't get it early. So it'll usually be used as energy. Otherwise, it's really in here as a placeholder until I get more super fuel. And speaking of super fuel, I have 1 copy. So 1 energy, and you must reroll your Bakugan if you open on the reroll. Hold on, I'll try to zoom it in for everyone. If you open on the reroll, the next card you play this turn costs 3 energy less to play. So this is a very powerful, super strong card. And honestly, I would take out the 2 power ritual and run 3 of it if I had it. But next up, another awesome card for Pyrus. It is Air Zero, so I am using 3 of these. 2 energy to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is not a flip card, you may play it for free, which is huge with this deck because a good bit of the cards do cost a lot of energy. So it is better to Air Zero and get them out as quickly as possible. Next up, a little bit of core control with Hot Potato. So I feel like this is a very powerful card, especially with Nanogun nowadays. So it is 2 energy to remove an enemy Bakugan's Baku-core and negate its effect. You return the Baku-core onto the field face down. So just a very powerful way to shut down your opponent's Nanogun or Bakugan bonuses, I guess, if they land on the specific cores that they need. So really good counter here. That's why you definitely want to run 3. Now then, moving on into the first hero of the deck, I do have 2 copies of Jenkins. So 2 energy for Fury at the end of the turn if you have no cards in hand, which, I mean, I say this deck has a lot of high cost energy cards, but then again, some of them are really low. So you do have the possibility of burning through your deck or your hand. And if you do, so at the end of the turn, if you have no cards in your hand, you make a Pyrus attack for 2 damage. So kind of chancy. You might not get it out. I mean, you could get it out early game, but you might have cards in your hand for a while. Mid to late game, however, you should be getting these free attacks or free damage eventually, and that just kind of helps the, the deck's win con, I guess. Then I have 2 copies of Pyrus Strike, so 2 energy, 4 plus 3 damage, but if it is a Pyrus Bakugan, which all 3 are, it is going to be plus 6 damage instead. 2 for 6 is just a powerful card in my opinion. And then it can be Pyrus with a little bit of Might Mock in there, so here is Might of Cindius, 2 energy for plus 1 damage. This turn the victor is decided by highest damage instead of B power. So in the cases of Warrior Whale, it does have higher damage than B power, or if we have a, some energy with Pyrus Strike, whatnot, this definitely does help in the scenarios where our opponent has more B power, which is probably why I only have 2. I don't think I would run 3. I probably would if I had more damage-centered Bakugan on the team, but I think 2 is perfectly fine. Now then, next up, it is 2 copies of Dual Strike. So this is a very nice card. 3 energy for Double Strike, and then you may reroll your Bakugan. So when you have effects that, like when your Bakugan open, make a damage attack for 1, or make a Pyrus attack for 1, that kind of thing, definitely good to be able to reroll your Bakugan because you get that free damage consecutively, and it just means you're going to win faster. Plus Double Strike, it doubles the amount of damage a Bakugan deals. That gets crazy. So very powerful card. I considered having 3 of that, but I opted for 2 so I could run this 1 copy of Inferno Wings, just because it's such a powerful card. 3 energy, 4+, 300 B power, but you remove all Baku-core enemy Baku on hold and negate their effects. So the perfect card to play just before an opponent gets a team attack off, or if they have a ton of Baku-core for Nanogun attached. So really good counter. I definitely want more of this. Probably would run it at either 2 or 3 copies, just because it's so good against trifecta builds, domination builds, that kind of thing. Back into the pseudo ramp of the deck, I am including 3 Song of Fire. So 3 energy, 4+, 5 energy. Really the whole point of this is just to be able to empty out our hand. On turn 3 you get 5, so you'll be able to play like 2 copies of a 2 energy cost card. And really just kind of burns through our hand, gives us access to energy, maybe play some of our bigger heroes a turn sooner. So just helps out. And then I have Twisting Inferno. So 3 energy to remove an enemy Bakugan's Baku-core and negate its effect. You place the Baku-core onto the field face down. And then if one of your Bakugan is holding a green fist, you may draw a card. Now the card draw is nice, there's not a lot of that in this deck, but definitely, again, more core control, removing your opponent's Baku-core. Nicely, just a nice strategy to do, really good. Shuts down pretty much anything your opponent has planned. And then I do have 2 copies of Dan Kuzo, 1 from Battle Planet and then 1 from Resurgence. So 4 energy for the first one. When you open a Bakugan, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is not a flip card, you may play it for free. You can imagine how nasty that can get in this deck. And then the second one, Dan Kuzo, 4 energy, your Bakugan get double strike. So again, dealing the amount of damage your Bakugan deal, or doubling it, is just so nice. And then I am running 1 copy of Mac. I would probably bump this up to 2 or 3 copies if I could, but I only have the 1 copy. So 4 energy for a hero the turn you play it. This victory is decided by highest damage instead of B power, and then your Bakugan have +2 damage. So again, really nice. Just kind of that might mock strategy everyone does with damage. Then next up, do have a Pyrus Overload. So 4 energy, 4+, 500 B power, which is kind of crucial. This deck doesn't have a lot of cards that add B power. You kind of rely heavily on your Bakugan sticking to the Baku-core they need. So plus 500 B power, and then remove all Baku-core attached to a Bakugan and place them onto the field. Again, more core control, just taking away your opponent's Baku-core. Kind of a sub-theme of the deck, kind of a little strategy there. And then wrapping things up, just some pretty good hero cards. I have 1 copy of E, 5 energy when you open a Bakugan, plus 3 energy for the turn. So some more pseudo ramp. And again, when you open a Bakugan and then you have a reroll card, so you can open it, get the 3, play your reroll card, open it again, get 3 more. So then you have like 6 or 5 depending on how you use your energy. And that's kind of the idea of having this 1 copy. I wouldn't run more than 1 because it's not really what the deck's trying to do. It just kind of helps get out your other hero cards like this one right here. So I have 2 copies of Emily, 6 energy for a hero, and then when your Bakugan open, or when you open a Bakugan, make a Pyrus attack for 2. So yeah, this is the hero. This is like what you want on the field as soon as possible, because every time you open a Bakugan, you get a free attack for 2 damage. And yeah, that combined with all of the reroll effects is really crazy, and a really great hero. Unfortunately, the Nobilia starter deck only came with 2 copies, but you definitely want to run 3 optimally. I do at least, so I'll definitely be looking to trade for another copy. Because yeah, crazy strong, just every time you open a Bakugan, plus 2 damage. And then I have 1 copy of Duran Dane. 11 energy for a hero. When you play this, it makes a Bakugan attack for 5, a Pyrus Bakugan. So that is really strong just right there. Definitely wish I had 2 more, just because air zeroing this out for a free 5 damage, that's just great. But this also gives double strike to your Bakugan as well. So again, this deck, a lot of damage, a lot of double strike. Kind of get the idea. The flip cards I use are really basic, so nothing too fancy. 2 copies of Block Outsiders, 3 energy to block non-Pyrus Bakugan, 2 copies of Fierce Termination, so 4 energy to block non-Pyrus again, but Fury, if you have no cards in hand, this is free, so definitely a nice card. And then the last card of the deck profile is Pyrus Dominance. So 5 energy, and you do get to block a non-Pyrus Bakugan, and then destroy an energy card. So kind of neat there. Figured the 1 copy wouldn't be too awful in the build. But that does it for this deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. I am definitely excited to be getting more reviews out there. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing if you aren't already, because I do have monthly giveaways for my subscribers, and I'm still working hard towards the dream goal of 1,000, and I can't do it without all of you. So until next time, stay safe, drum up, and Bakugan Brawl.